Hey everyone, I hope you've had an amazing week. Last weekend, Richard and I headed down to Warhammer World for their anniversary event, and honestly we really weren't quite sure what to expect. We've both been to Warhammer Fest before, and we've popped into Warhammer World quite a few times just to either wander around the museum and, let's be honest, to do some retail therapy too. But this event was absolutely something else entirely. There was just absolutely tons to do. Activities, special events, and just an amazing atmosphere all round. So yeah, there was so much to do, and I mean genuinely, we were spoiled for choice. Whether you wanted to try out latest games, take part in a D&D RPG tabletop adventure, sit down and paint some models, or even paint a Space Marine display, there was something for absolutely everyone. And if you're into your kit bashing, wow, there was so much kit bashing. I mean, famous Scrap Demon was there, overseen by the really ever lovely Pete the Wargamer, and that was just an absolute riot. People were just diving into piles of sprues, hacking bits apart and assembling bizarre creations to take home. Honestly, the smell in there, the smell of glue in that room was overwhelming by the end. One of my personal highlights would be the Painted Fire Dragon workshop, and that was run by the Warhammer TV team. It was really cool to meet them in person, and they were just as lovely as they seem on screen. And of course, I got to learn how to paint a fire dragon, an Eldari fire dragon. My painting isn't great, but I jumped at the chance to have a go and had some really nice chats with all the other participants too. There was also a chance to paint a Space Marine chapter and to get hands-on with the new Old World content, so you could look at some archery, some armour displays, look at the new Old World games, and just have some fun with some really friendly Games Workshop staff. Another huge highlight would be the cosplayers. Now honestly, they were next level. There were Krieg, Imperial Fists, and loads of other iconic characters. And some of the costumes were really just jaw-dropping. And you could really see there's so much passion and effort had gone into them, from their armour to their weapons and everything in between. The Imperial Fist even had a voice changer, and it was actually genuinely a little scary with the helmet on. And beyond that, the cosplayers themselves were just the nicest people. Always happy to pose for photos, to chat about their builds, and just generally bring the Warhammer universe to life. It just added another level of immersion to the whole event, and shout out to all of them I met. You guys were great. You were fantastic. It really felt like a celebration of all things Warhammer, not just the miniatures, but the lore, the gaming, and all the creative side of the hobby, and the incredible community that surrounds it. A note on that actually, because I was there with Richard and he was doing the Legends of Paint competition, he was judging, I was often on my own, just wandering around, and I'd like to say everyone was just so nice. Just so easy to chat to people at the table, so easy to just strike up conversation, so friendly. And I've always known that the Warhammer community is one of the most welcoming bunch of nerds there is. And I say that as a nerd. And I was still surprised. About the Legends of Paint. So, the reason we were really there was the Legends of Paint competition. And honestly, it's such a great showcase of talent. Unlike Golden Demon, this isn't a cutthroat competition. Instead, it's more of an open painting event where models are judged on their own merits, rather than just against each other. So there's no stressful top 3 placements, just gold, silver and bronze ratings based on the quality of the piece. If you've ever thought about entering a painting competition but felt a bit intimidated, this is absolutely perfect for you. It's completely open, meaning painters of all levels can take part without worrying about going up against the absolute elite. Each entry is single model, and that can be anything from Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy, Necromunda, basically any Games Workshop system. So you've got everything there. Well, I saw everything there. There was detailed characters to massive titans and vehicles, and it was just great to see them all together in one place. What I really loved about the event was just how accessible it felt. You could be a newer painter just starting to push yourself, or someone that's really experienced looking for a way to share your work without the pressure of Golden Demon. Seeing so many different styles and interpretations in one place was just honestly inspiring. The best part though, I find, it's judged individually, not competitively, so you're not being compared directly to anyone else. Your model is assessed on its own merits. Judges look at blending, colour choices, brush control, presentation, and the real mix of styles. And speaking of that, Youngbloods also not to enter, so they're the younger painters, but they were judged separately while still being displayed alongside everyone else. So they weren't put in their own separate cabinet, they were with everyone else, and it was a really good way to encourage these new painters without making them feel separate from the rest of the hobby. I really like that. One of the coolest things was the opportunity to get in-depth feedback from the judges. This doesn't really happen at Golden Demon at all because of the sheer scale of the event. But here, Richard Gray and Em from Warhammer TV literally spent hours sitting down with people, talking about their work and giving them advice on how to improve. That really made a huge difference for a lot of people. It's not about awards. I find that this is really about learning and getting better. There's something really refreshing about an event where you know that every single model is getting a fair and a proper look. As Richard put it in his latest video around the event, where he goes into lots more detail than me and it's worth a watch. He said, every single model was picked up and looked at, and no one was overlooked. That's something that makes this event feel so much more welcoming. And I agree. The judges spent time with every and each entry, carefully assessing it, picking it up, and really giving it the attention that it deserved. And I think that's part of what makes it so welcoming. Now, Golden Demon. It's famously tough. You've got notable, commended and finalist awards, but the reality is, and increasingly in recent years, most people walk away empty-handed because the competition is just so fierce. Legends of Paint is completely different, as many people who deserved it got gold, silver or bronze awards. If you got a gold here, it's a really solid indicator that you're ready to take on Golden Demon. But, of course, there's no pressure. But if you just want to show off your work and be part of the experience without stressing about a hardcore competition, this place is great to do that too. You can just enter, display your work, chat with other painters and have a really positive experience. One thing I really noticed was just how varied the painting styles were. It wasn't just crisp, clean, heavy metal styles, it was everything. There was grim dark, stylized, hyper-realistic, saturated, muted, grubby. It was all there. There was a really broad range of techniques on display, which was just fantastic to see because, for me, it proves there is no one right way to paint. If you've ever worried that your style isn't the kind of thing that wins competitions, this is exactly the kind of event that proves otherwise. The Warhammer World Anniversary event was packed with stuff to do. There were painting workshops, kit bashing challenges, intro games, but Legends of Paint really stood out as a celebration of the hobby. The cabinets were just full of stunning miniatures, and the mix of styles was just incredible. Grimdark, heavy metals, stylized all next to each other, showing how diverse miniature painting can be. Unlike Golden Demon, where models stay in the cabinets for days, Legend of Paint runs separately on Saturday and Sunday, which means that you could enter on either day, get judged, and take your model home at the end of the day. If you wanted to, you could even enter a different model on the second day, but you couldn't just re-enter the same one. This kept things really fresh and really interesting across the weekend. Something else I really want to point out is just how well paced the event felt. Sometimes the big events can feel really overwhelming, but this one struck the right balance. It was really busy and lively, but it never felt like you were fighting through crowds or struggling to see anything. The Warhammer World staff did a great job of keeping things running smoothly, and everyone was just in a great mood the whole time. If you've ever wanted to enter a painting showcase but felt unsure about how competitive Golden Demon is, this is such a good alternative. You still get judging, feedback and recognition, but it's a much more relaxed environment. If you just want to put your model on display and let people admire it, you can. It's really just what you make of it. Tickets for the Warhammer World Anniversary event sold out super fast because the venue has limited capacity. So if you want to go next time, sneaky top tip, I would set up alerts on Eventbrite for Warhammer World events. It's 100% worth getting in early. So in short, Legends of Paint is just a fantastic experience. Whether you're an experienced painter or just getting started, it's a chance to be part of the community, show your work and improve your skills. Definitely one to keep an eye on for the future.